And hello, everyone. Welcome to So Many Levels. We're running a little bit late today for a variety of technical reasons, none of which are very interesting to anyone but the person who is frantically trying to solve them. I think I've got it all set, though, so let me first just point out we've got tabletop audio providing the ambiance. Our players aren't going to be hearing it over the Hangout, but anyone who wants to go to tabletopaudio.com and start Doc's District is what you'll be hearing right now. Okay, see, now I'm not prepared for the actual show because I was so busy trying to get all of this sorted. Maybe we just go ahead and say I'm a little discombobulated too from having spent all weekend running Tomb of Annihilation for Extra Life.
Yeah.
Woohoo! And raising a lot of money too.
Yes, we ended up raising $800 for children's hospitals. And it was a blast, and it went, from a technical perspective, far better than I could have even ever expected. It was great fun, and you can check out all of that on YouTube if you want. I'm probably not going to do an audio version of that just because it's 24 hours of audio. YouTube version.
What? Really? Why not?
Audio's so fast to edit.
I already get so much audio between this one and Curse of Strahd and then any of my other podcasts. That's a lot.
Yeah. No, that's totally understandable. But I just want to say, as someone that played, Chooch and I played on Saturday, and it was seamless the way you brought people in and out, and you had great transitions, and like you said, the technology part all worked out. It was just also on top of that just so fun. You just made that a damn delight, because at least half of the people I had never played with, so that was the first time I met them, like, interacting, like, other than Facebook or Twitter or whatever. And you just made it so, like, okay, let's go. It was great. So fun.
Thank you. It was one of those, it's great to hear that just because I put a lot of work into it. And so to have it actually work out is, a lot of the part that was behind the scenes, all the work that I was doing is not my favorite kind of stuff to do.
Yeah.
And so I did put a lot of effort into it, but it went well, and we raised money, and so it was great. But now, comparatively speaking, I'm excited to get back into the relatively low stress So Many Levels. Only by comparison, though, because especially in this particular session, we had a lot of stuff happen last time, and so today's like
fun.
Today's like Fallout episode, right? Like, this is now what, right? So, when last we left the Heroes of Legend, Nero was 15 feet tall. You guys had just attempted to kill a traitor and didn't quite seal the deal before she was stolen by a tentacle.
But it was very satisfying.
You were all hidden out in a flooded temple to the spirit of Lake Elamon, and were told in no uncertain terms by the spirit that you would not be permitted to seal the fissure. And so, let's return to you now. I'm not going to put you back on the tactical map for now because we're not in combat or anything. But as we left you guys, this is really only moments after the combat finished. You're still in this flooded temple area. One thing I will say is I kind of tossed off the idea that Nero was literally too big to fit through any of the doors.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's 15 foot tall.
No.
You can get down on your hands and knees if you need
I
to.
can fix it, though.
Well, I'm just saying that.
Been thinking about this for 2 weeks.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Well, in that case, then yes, all the doors are too small. You have to figure it out then.
Okay, make it hard for me. This is great. All right.
Sweet, merciful. Again.
I'm so excited you guys don't know.
Can't tell at all. I can't wait to see what you got for us.
So what's cool is that this is our 40th episode. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Cheers and congratulations.
Nope. Okay, so we're in the temple. Get back into character. I'm just too damn excited. Calm down a little bit.
Should we introduce ourselves, or do people
Oh
know?
yeah, good idea. I'm out of
while.
practice. I am of course Christiana Ellis, Dungeon Master. With us tonight we have Chooch playing Ottakri,
Hello.
the Tiefling Paladin of Vengeance. We have Vivid Muse playing Amethyst, the Human Paladin.
Hi, guys.
We have Starla Hutchton playing Nirakina Ethu, Tempest Cleric of Rushama.
Greetings and salutations.
And we have Mark Kilfoyle as Alaric Copperbeard, Dwarven Fighter.
Good evening.
And that's the introductions. Go!
And off screen, there's Andrew
Well
Brush.
play.
Yes, your halfling companion is still with you guys.
While
Where's my
Nira
free
maybe
time?
10 times her size, Nira, Andrea is 10 times her size inside. That's pretty clear.
All right, so first thing I would like to do is get out of this soggy robe.
Ooh. And the show
right.
takes a turn.
Well, a few of us put those on, so I just remembered.
Oh, that robe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
the,
right,
the
right,
red,
right.
the red
Oh, yeah.
robe from the.
The
Yeah,
over robe, not the.
Oh yeah, I guess we
yeah.
don't need
No,
to,
not my. Yeah, no, not getting naked.
we don't need
Well,
to
you're
worry
just
about
lucky that
fooling
the,
anybody.
You're
I
lucky
do
that
not-
that's how the giant potion worked.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So I'm looking around at the doors.
It's going to be a problem.
Yeah. So here's my thought. I'm going to cast Water Walk on these guys. I'm just casting that right now.
Okay. Those of you who were standing in the water or floating find yourself buoyed up to the top, whereupon you can now walk along the surface of the water like a squishy, goopy carpet.
Okay.
Here's my thought, guys. You need to go back to town, get the horses, and get somewhere safe. Like, don't stay in town.
You want to grab a boat?
Well, I made it so that you guys can just... It'll be faster for you to get back to the safe house with, you can walk on the water now, so... And
Right.
that'll last for a little while.
Are we staying at the safe house, though? Is it safe?
No, I would get out of town.
She knew it was there, that traitor.
Right.
Oh, true.
And the spirit knows. I don't... Do we know how far the sphere of influence the spirit has? Like, how wide that goes? Like, kind of what the boundary is?
Yeah, you're not exactly sure that with a lake it would work quite the same as a mountain, because Rushama, it's like, how do you define what's one mountain versus the adjoining mountain, right? Whereas a lake generally has a more defined boundary, at least from a, two-dimensional standpoint. But generally speaking, you can assume that anything within the lake itself is certainly going to be the spirit's sphere of influence, and probably a mile or more outside of the shore of the lake, it will have some power.
Would
How
that
far?
be about... Because they opened up... That other priest was at that other temple that was being taken over by the spirit. So that's why I was asking, like, if that has expanded the boundary. Like, if they were to leave town, how far would they have to go?
Well, it's hard to say again because you don't necessarily know what's happening underground.
Okay.
If something feeds this lake, so it might.
Right. Well,
Might
that
be
would
there,
be
too.
the Sitslipback River, right?
Well, I mean,
Going-
that is one of the rivers that goes into the lake.
Well, and
The
that
lake has
spirit
been there
talked-
for a long time, though.
But that spirit talked about spreading its influence, right? Mm-hmm. It'll go for every tap and well anywhere it can find. Imagine.
So, if you guys can go back in and grab the horses, get out of town, I'm going to do a little recon.
I don't mean to point out the obvious, but You're not exactly in recon shape.
So I would like to now take out my other flask, my potion
Okay.
of flying,
All right.
and because last week you did say that I could fit through the skylight if I could get to it.
Yep.
Nice.
So this will give me an hour of flying time. I checked and there wasn't a size restriction on it. So what am going to do, guys, I'm gonna bug up this way and see what I can see from high up. I don't know if I can get a visual on the fissure, but it's worth a look.
Damn, that's cool.
Well,
You'll be
Wow,
a flying giant woman.
I need the whole new song.
Do you want to take that rope maybe and just stretch it across your shoulders instead? It'll fly kind of next behind you as you fly through.
Supergirl giant woman.
so should we?
Yeah, if you guys get out, go get the horses and leave town, find somewhere safe to hang out, and I'll send you a message because I can only do this for an hour, so I gotta book. But get as far as you can, and we'll regroup after I've seen what I can
Okay.
see.
Well, stay safe anyway. We might not be able to fly to you if you have any problems.
Well, do we want to say as a general, we'll head south, so we have some idea?
I'm trying to remember. Were we on the north side of the lake?
Yeah, kind of northwest.
Okay.
So if we go straight east and get away from the lakiness.
We came from the east, right? Kind of
Yeah.
in the direction of that temple, so maybe go west.
Yeah, because we ran into that dude there that made us do the thing. Was that specific at all? Did that give any assistance?
Okay, west it is.
Oh, wait, actually, Amethyst can't talk. Amethyst is still a purple octopus, so she's just
that's
sitting there waving. And like on the water walk.
So you're a purple octopus.
Because I can breathe out of water for an hour.
Semaphore
this is
with
fun.
the tentacles.
Oh yeah, do the Egyptian dance and all that stuff. Yes, voguing, all of it. Yes, that
I
right
look
there.
at Otterkey with his, tail and horns, and I'm like, I got nothing. I'm just a dwarf. But I'm happy enough.
You're a kick-ass.
Alright.
dwarf. Oh, I can't.
So
say,
I'm
but
on
like-
the clock, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, go grab the stuff, get out, and I'll send you a message and find out where you are, and we'll meet up outside of town
Sounds good.
in a westerly direction.
All right, stay safe.
So did you drink the potion?
Yes.
Okay, so as you
Superman.
as you swallow the liquid, you start feeling a little irpy, like like a little
One too many
gassy at
potions.
first, but then it kind of starts spreading out across your body. You just start feeling light and like you can just there's a freedom of movement, and just with your will you start rising up into the air, and you can soar and you soar right through the skylight, and it's all very dramatic and da 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 and everyone else watches her
Damn cool.
disappear through the skylight. And we're gonna follow everyone else first, and then come catch up with Nira's scouting adventure. So what are the rest of you doing?
Lean west.
We can go to the balcony from here. The other spot was blocked off, right?
Well, so you came through the flooded first floor, which would be difficult to go back through now because
But
the water walk is in effect.
I actually float now. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can.
Unless I can't breathe water, so that would be a problem.
There was the balcony entrance,
Yeah.
though.
And that was close to flush with the water.
Yeah, it was
Right,
just
sure.
above the surface.
Yeah, let's
Let's
head
head that
there.
way.
All right.
I'm going to keep this robe for a little while longer, just in case.
All right. So you guys,
What
You
happened to my robe? Is my octopus wearing my robe? No, it
well,
goes away like my
usually-
other clothes, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Never mind.
usually your clothes kind of absorb into your wild-shaped form.
Okay.
You can, for flavor, decide that your octopus has like a little red cape on or something, though.
No, I'm good. I'm cool with the like natural thing happening.
All right, so you make your way up the stairs to that balcony level, and then out there, and it's a clear full moon night, and the surface of the lake is actually very still. And as you kind of look around over to shore, you see that on the shore of the lake, there are hundreds of people all standing along the shore, just staring at you.
Just act casual.
And I start waving
Walk
with
on water casually.
6
I
of my
got
arms
fucking
waving.
harder to do casual.
Casual.
I'll walk out front with this fancy robe on, pull the robe over my head, and try to look like I'm officially leading them somewhere.
All right. You're making your way to shore?
Yeah.
Okay. As you head in that direction, you see that everyone, as far as you can tell, this is the whole town has turned out, and they're all standing in just sort of a one deep line all around the shore of the lake. As you guys start to get close, they do make a gap for you, but everyone is just wordlessly staring at you.
Step aside. Official Elamon business.
Thank you. Thank you.
They,
Bless you.
they let you pass, but they all turn to watch as you go.
Yeah, it's gonna be a problem.
I don't think they recognized Amethyst though.
Yeah,
Are you-
technically, the only one that might recognize is Anarchy.
Are you riding someone, like maybe Ottercree's shoulders or something like that, or are you just?
I don't know. Do we think that
slurping
Anarchy?
along like an octopus?
I hope I'm slurping along.
When you're
think
when you're
goes-
not swimming, your land speed I think is just 10 feet, so it's a little
Ah.
slow. But I mean, you could do it though. You could slurp along. Everyone's
Nothing goes
walking
well
slowly
with,
you.
you know, tentacles like horns.
All right, so I'll hop on Otterkey's back.
Peace be with you.
They're
What's dead may never die.
They don't seem angry exactly. They're kind of emotionless, but they're definitely watching you guys very carefully as you turn, as you pass through. And they don't move to follow. They just turn and watch, follow you with their gaze, but not their feet. If you follow me, if you get it.
All right.
Yeah.
If we can break that gaze at some point along the way, that'd be best. So we're heading to the trading post with the vault, right? That's where we left stuff. Is that the high
Ottercree?
spot we're
The
talking about?
horses. Oh yeah, wait, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's where we left everything.
Mm-hmm.
No, aren't they in that little housey thing on the edge of the lake thingy that we were just in?
Maybe.
Isn't
we
that
left
where we
them
went
there?
up to the second floor?
Oh yeah. We left them there. Yeah.
It's not that I can see Nira or anything, but I feel like she's indicating to me that I'm correct.
I think I can see her from here. She's pretty big.
No, I meant Ying Yang.
That
You
might,
did
that might
go
be
and check
Cloud.
out the sort of lockup area of that place. Checked that out and all. But
I know we went through there at one point and pulled out the cash they said they didn't have.
Yeah, there was a money grab, but
We didn't leave anything there though.
oh yeah, I think we left a lot of stuff. Didn't everybody just take what they? Okay, so I'm going to turn back into Amethyst human form, obviously, because Octopus is just going beep bark.
because that's the noises octopuses make. Is
I don't know. Well, they have
it's
beaks. so
official
it's-
now. Yeah.
Black
Um,
swish.
So I'm actually forgetting. I apologize for that. I don't remember whether you left the shell in the lockup or not.
No, the
it's in the
shell's in
bag.
the bag of
Right.
holding.
That's right. It's in the bag of holding, blocking the opening.
Yeah, because we're brilliant. So yeah, there's that. So do we have a need to go back to that house, or can we just bolt Beat Street for where Nero said to go? Where we said we'd meet up with Nero.
Well, we need to get that horse and wagon, right?
All right, well, let's go. Slurp, slurping, no more. Let's beat it.
Yeah. So you guys, make your way back in that direction. As you kind of take a glance back once you've made it a few blocks away, it does seem like the people have kind of started to break up and perhaps return to their homes or go about whatever other business they might have in the middle of the night.
Right.
But their vigil on the lake is apparently done. Nobody seems to be following you.
Is there a little corner or dark alley or something that we can, not alley because we're by the lake, but is there some little dark alcove that we can dip into for a second so I can pass without a trace on the rest of us that are still here?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't even really need to be in an alley to cast it, but if you
I just want to get out of people's sight before I cast it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, you can sort of duck into like a little narrow passageway between two buildings where there's shadows from the moonlight.
Bamf. Your plus 10s to stealth.
No
All
more
right.
cases.
Everybody roll a stealth check then.
Oh, geez, dice.
Yeah.
Let's see.
13.
And you add the plus
maths.
10 for you pass without trace.
27.
31.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, plus 10.
And Andrew got 25 with the plus 10.
So 23.
Yeah. So you didn't necessarily have the sense that anyone was trying to follow you, but you're being pretty stealthy now.
yeah, we don't trust anybody anymore. Something may have broken that trust.
We are the night.
I'm not a knight.
You're actually
With the
not.
night.
You're not having a lot of. You're not even really seeing anybody though. I mean, and part of that might have been because it's late at night, and part of it might have been because everybody went down to the lake, which you've now left behind.
Yep. I just feel better.
No, I feel
All
much
right.
better.
Let's wrangle
If we
them
see
horses.
If we see that crazy Callista, I got a few words to say with her, to speak with her. Most of the men with "ow."
Mine would mostly be, "That bitch!"
And stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
So, horse and wagon, are we...
Hopefully they're there.
Yeah. You make it back to the house, and they seem unmolested.
That's my favorite. So, let's go.
Head out of town.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
didn't like the way they were looking at us.
Yep. It's very easy to climb up onto the wagon when you're already standing on the surface of the water. Although where that safe house was, it was really only about 6 inches of water, so it's just like a little bit of a step, like a little helper step. Excuse me. But yeah, so you get all mounted up, you get the wagon ready, and you start making your way out of town. And nobody bothers you. How far are you going? Are you hurrying, or are you just normal pace?
I think normal pace. Go what? Like an hour?
How far are we, Christiana? Did you say like an hour?
Well,
No, she asked how far do we want to
I
go.
was asking out.
Oh.
I was asking you how far.
Yeah. I said travel for an hour, see how it goes.
The woods not far.
Yep. All right.
Might be
About
good.
an hour at wagon pace. You're gonna get like 3 miles or so. And you pass through some of the outskirts where there's dye works, various pools with all sorts of bright colors that are all given kind of a bluish silvery sheen in the moonlight, and then past some sort of outlying farms here and there, and you head for where there doesn't seem to be anybody around, and then sit tight.
Keep watch.
Yeah, I need to rest because I've used up a bunch of my spells. I'm kind of useless right now.
I can take a long watch if you need it.
Cool beans.
Okay. So let's hop back and follow Nira as you soar through the skylight of the temple. You find yourself emerging over the lake into the moonlight. casting a shadow that is a little bit deceptive because you know it's bigger, but you're also it kind of just makes it difficult to gauge like, well, how high above the surface are you? And but you look around and making my camera's autofocus get confused. But yeah, if you glance back, you definitely see that there's several hundred townsfolk all standing in line along the shore of the lake.
Oh man, I hope they don't have any trouble. All right. So I'm going to turn away from the shore, and I want to go up fairly high.
Okay.
Because I know there's that tentacle thing in the lake, and I don't want to be too close.
All right.
I want to head for the center.
Okay. Do recall that this is a pretty big lake, so you may not be able to fly to the center and then back to the shore in an hour. What is your flying speed? Does the potion say?
It says it. It says.
I think it's light. It replicates
yeah,
the
equal
spell
to my
flyer.
walking speed.
Okay, equal to your walking speed, so it's not even the same as the spell fly gives you flying speed of 60 feet, but equal to your walking speed. So if you think about
Sprint.
30 feet
Can I
in
dash?
6 seconds.
What?
Well, shoot, now I want to do the math and say, well, how many miles per hour is 30 feet in 6 seconds?
It isn't unladen near Kina. Keep that in mind. I'm not sure if it's Eastern European or African.
So it's 5 feet
So-
per second, right?
But
so,
because I'm giant sized, does that also make a difference?
well,
I don't know if that affects my
does-
speed.
Well, let's
It
see.
affects my melee range, but not my. I don't think it affects my speed.
I feel like it probably does.
It doesn't say on the
movement
thing. Just as I become huge.
It makes sense that it would, so I'll say that your movement speed is doubled. But even still, that would be 10 feet per second, which is going to be, 600 feet per minute. And, so therefore 3,600 feet per hour, which is not quite a mile in an hour.
Okay.
And if you recall
well,
the scale of the map, yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't get to the center in an hour.
Okay. But being high, I'm going to move kind of in a westerly direction. Because I know that's kind of where they're headed, and it'll be less distance I have to walk.
Yeah. Well, and the higher you are, you can see a long way.
Right.
But as far as flying to where you will be, there is a travel pace table as mentioned in the chat, but I'm kind of was stuck on doing the math there because I wanted to. But yeah, in any event, the end result is the same. So you're moving west. You want to try to see what you can see.
Yeah. Maybe if I can get a hint of purple, that'd be great.
Yeah, over the lake, you're not. You're not. Your vision is not obstructed at all, and you kind of. I'll say that you had kind of studied the map and tried to get a sense of, the center of that circle, and it being approximately the center of the lake. And I'll say that, make an intelligence check to try to know where you want to be looking.
Let's see. 20. Not natural.
Okay. Yeah, you're pretty sure that you can make out various coastal features of this lake that allow you to orient yourself compared to the location of that circle on the map, so that you can at least be looking in the direction where the center of it would be, and make a perception check.
That did not go as well. Okay. Let's see. That's
The Google conversion table says 10 feet per second is 7 miles an hour.
Is it?
6.8.
Okay, well that's probably right. I was kind of doing the math
So-
half-assed way.
16.
Okay. So fair enough. If that's actually if true 7 miles an hour, then still the lake is bigger than that. So you can make it farther than I was saying, but still not to the center. The perception is 16, you said?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. It's the moonlight is relatively bright tonight. It's a nearly full moon. And you're able to like see a ways around you, but looking for any sort of a hint of purplish light, you don't see anything.
So it's definitely not on the surface. That's unfortunate. Okay. All right, so since that's the case, I don't know that there's too much else that I can do. So I guess I will head back to the shore and see how far I can get kind of inland, that I can cross paths with them.
Okay.
I do have something else to do though. So.
All right. So as you're kind of turning and trying to reorient yourself to head back in that direction, for just a moment, out of the corner of your eye, you feel like you see the reflection of that manifestation of the spirit that you saw back in the temple. You feel like you see it like a reflection in the water, but at the height you're at, it would be thousands of feet across. But then when you turn to try to get a better look at it, it's gone.
Oh, that's not okay. Okay.
Yeah, so you make your way back towards shore. You're able to see the town relatively well to find it, and makes sense you could follow the road out of town if that's what you are doing.
Yeah, I'll do that, but I want to set down, like, because I think, because I know how fast they'd be traveling, so I don't want to come right up on them, but I think I could kind of maybe estimate about how far they get in the
Okay.
time I was gone. Maybe?
Make a wisdom check.
Well, okay. Oh, I have that proficiency. Okay. 15.
Okay. You are pretty sure, especially if you're being careful, that you are, keeping track well enough of how long it's been. You do have the benefit too. Well, I was going to say, actually, I started to say you have the benefit of knowing that you took the giant-sized potion before, but that one lasts 24 hours.
Yeah.
So you're still giant. But yeah, so you do manage to go and find somewhere inland, and you're pretty sure you have at least like 10-15 minutes left
Okay.
of your flight.
All right. Are there like some trees around? Something? I need to sit down for a minute.
It's not a forest or anything, but there's trees. It's a verdant landscape. The
So
trees look tiny for you because they're 3 times your normal size.
Well, so Nira's been doing some thinking, and Nira needs to have a little conversation with her patron spirit. So I'm going to sit down, kind of make a check, make sure, I'm alone. Pretty sure I am, because I flew over all this. And sit down and kind of center myself. Do this. Shama, your humble servant comes You know what? That's not gonna work this time. I gotta talk to you, Rashama. I have a problem. So tonight we were in this water temple, and it's wet and creepy and full of lies. It's really bad, but something happened tonight that has given me pause. This spirit of Lake Elamond did something for me tonight that I feel compelled to have a discussion with you about. As creepy as this thing is, and as much as I dislike what's going on in this town, tonight I was given something that I haven't been given in a very long time. I'd say over 100 years. Tonight it gave me a choice. I was given the option to go into its service with the promise that I would be freed. And I'm not necessarily saying that I want to do that, but there is something that I need from you. I know that there is a reason that you've chosen me, and something that I have to do. So, whatever that is, I am willing to do that, and do that with all of myself. If there is any guarantee that when the work is finished, I can have my choices back. Whether that's to stay or to go, that's all I would require, is just a choice. Otherwise, I don't know if I can keep going and doing this monumental task that's been set out before us. Because it's so unlike anything that you've ever asked any of our people to do. And I don't think it's unreasonable of me to ask for a light at the end of the tunnel.
There's no response.
Of course not. All right. I'm not sure if that's my answer. I guess I will go find my friends. At least in that I have a choice.
I just wanted to let you know that just as you were doing that, I changed the tabletop audio track to Elven Blade. And it was fantastic accompaniment to that scene. And I didn't want to interrupt you guys to let you know. But it's
Been 2 weeks on that.
Well done, milady.
Intense. Now we have a somewhat pissed off giant elf to deal with.
Total religion burn there. I mean, my gosh.
Was it no answer, or was the answer something that you have to figure it out yourself? Who knows?
Or maybe
Who
it was-
can say, right?
It could have been pooping. Some people don't answer calls when they're pooping.
Went to voicemail.
All right. So, how are you finding your friends?
Oh. Well, I need to cast Sending. Let me see. All right. So I'll cast Sending. And how far are you guys from town? Are there any landmarks I should look out for? And I'll start walking west.
And yeah, you guys can, we won't.
Oh, I will send that. Sorry, I should direct the spell. I will send that to. I'll send that to Andrea.
Okay.
I mean, well, she's the scout, you know. That
Totally.
makes sense.
No.
I love
So-
you
I was
guys. I promise.
Without belaboring the logistics of it, we'll definitely say that with her assistance, she's able to guide you to where you need to be. Flying along, you are able to spot them. And did you guys make a fire? That would certainly stand out.
You guys are all wet, so
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
probably cold.
definitely.
I am slowly using prestidigitation to dry myself off, but it's like 1 foot at a time.
Yeah, so you guys, you are able to catch back up with them, and you guys see a 15-foot tall elf land gracefully amongst you.
Still pretty cool.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Find
So,
anything interesting?
I think it's mostly bad news, but nothing on the surface. So this fissure is very likely underwater. And just to add even more potentially bad news, I got the feeling. So the spirit is the lake. Like, so this, if we were to enter the water, we would physically be invading the physical representation of a spirit. So that is not going to be easy.
I don't think you ever said this was going to be easy.
Well, at this point, it looks more difficult than we thought going in.
Well, especially because that lake spirit's pretty possessive. He seems to like it being where it is. Although, one thing's been kind of bugging me. This
Just
spirit.
one thing?
Well, I can only count to 3, so that's quite a bit. I can count higher. I'm just joking. Anyway, this spirit.
We'll make you prove it later.
Let's play cards. I'll show you I can count. The spirit was big and powerful, right? And it had all kinds of servants. It had us in its own temple. There's lots of water around. It had that strange pool thing. It had that tentacle, whatever the hell it was. And it paused. And it asked us, okay, maybe gave us a choice. I don't think it was really a choice, but it asked us if we wanted to serve it. Now, maybe it's just vain. It probably is pretty vain. But why would it do that if it didn't, at some level, fear us? Maybe not me. Probably more likely the 3 of you, because this is the thing you're attached to. So, that means to me that it might be vulnerable. Scared. Now, that's not necessarily a good thing, because a scared creature probably stab you. Or, well, I mean, the creature would probably use claws. You know what I mean. So it's probably going to be fighting viciously. But that also means it thinks it can lose. Some level, it thinks it can lose. And if it can lose, if it thinks it can lose, why shouldn't we think it could lose too? Now, this is really your quest, the 3 of you. Andrea and me, well, we're along for the ride. Maybe some of us to get away from home. Okay, both of us to get away from home, I guess. So it's really up to the 3 of you. But if I have any say to sway it one way or the other, Much as I don't like the idea of possibly drowning under a whole lake. No, okay, I really don't like that idea. But much as I don't like that idea, I'm willing to go with whatever you guys are up to. Especially because that first priest was really creepy.
Yeah.
True.
Well, then, any ideas?
Well, I've still got some time, as is. So, that being said, if we're going to make an assault, probably be better to do it while we have this as an advantage.
So that means first thing in the morning? At latest?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to know we're coming, is the thing. It'll have the ability to, like, as soon as we're anywhere near it, it'll sense us, and I don't know if it's going to send those townspeople to attack, which I don't really fault them, because I know what it's I know what it's like to live in a place that fully believes in its patron spirit. Not to this creepiest extent, but I get it. There's been some twisting that's gone on here, and I'm not saying these people are innocent. I'm sure they've all done some pretty nasty things. But I'm not about to judge them for that, and so if we can avoid fighting with them as much as possible, I think that'd be best.
Well, what about Callista's people? I mean, she was probably lying about half the stuff she said, but she did say something about water elves, which means it makes me feel there's more of them.
I don't think she was from around here, though.
Maybe more of them came, though. I mean,
True.
It seems like water elves would be attracted to a water spirit.
Yeah.
Wonder what she wanted from it.
The other one just wanted to be praised and got gills. Who knows what people want out of a thing like that?
Well, desperate people do desperate things.
Yeah.
I will say just regarding water elves, aquatic elves, Nero would certainly know that although there are relatively fewer of them compared to some other sub-races of elves, they're not unheard of. The largest community of them that you are aware of is on the western coast. There's kind of an inlet. Here, I'll pull up the map here briefly. So you know that here you guys are at Lake Elamon, right? You're in the neighborhood of here. You know that aquatic elves, the largest community of them, are in this region.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look, there's a fissure there.
Yeah.
Wonder if there's any tie there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where she was from. Like, if we're... I don't know, it's possible she could have come here seeking help for trouble they have there.
She seemed pretty content to be in the service once she revealed herself.
Yeah.
Well, but it doesn't seem like there's actually a whole heck of a lot of choice. I mean, I don't know.
There's always a choice. We said no.
Well, but I mean, if you've lived here and resided near the fissure, we've seen how that impacts people.
True.
These things are never simple.
No.
Never simple.
So, I mean, I don't trust the townspeople. I don't trust anything related or that's been residing near and around it. I don't know. Not really sure not sure what to try and use against it.
Well, at the very least, we got to get to it, right? And it's way out there in the lake, so we're going to have to get a boat or two, or a rowboat or something. I think the horse is going to have to stay behind, unless it can row.
You
They're
guys,
damn well going to.
you guys remember that that giant tentacle that came out of the well, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think if we go out there in a boat, that's not going to last long.
No.
Well, what are you going to do? Walk?
Andrew says, remember there is a ferry that goes between the two cities. It's relatively big, a lot bigger than those rowboats, but I don't know how big is too big, or how big is. I mean,
We're gonna
I
steal it?
don't know what the spirit can do. I'm sure that the spirit could sink that boat if it wanted to, but it's bigger than the little fishing boats we saw.
Right. It probably operates under the control of, you know, under the blessing of the spirit.
Yep.
Right. So if we took it, it might not keep its blessing. We want to convince it to go where we want to go.
Well, I mean, we can buy the ferry from whoever owns it, but I mean, that's not going to appease the spirit in the water.
No.
It's not going to make him be like, "Oh, okay, you paid for it. All right, come on in." So, I mean, either way, I think it's just like a transfer for us to all get closer to it as quickly as possible. I don't know.
So if we're going to do, I have a couple of water spells in my arsenal, and so I'm kind of looking over them. Or Nira is thinking about them and what she might use. So there is one that is control water.
Yeah, it's pretty small though. It's a pretty small amount of water.
Well,
Not lake-sized.
well, let's see. The whirlpool. This effect requires a body of water at least 50 feet square and 25 feet deep. That's not nothing.
How big
The
is
vortex that is 5 feet wide at its base and up to 50 feet wide at the top and 25 feet tall.
How long does that water walking trick last?
Only an hour.
And
Okay.
I think water walk actually lasts 8 hours. Am I wrong?
I think it's only an hour. 1 hour, yeah. So, I mean, I couldn't even get to the center of the lake flying.
right?
Water breathing was 8 hours. That's what I was remembering.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get.
No, water breathing is 24 hours.
Okay, I was thinking
Yeah.
of something then. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. There's so many.
Okay, but yes, water walk 1 hour.
Yeah. Unless we're walking underwater with that.
So could your
Yeah, if we were
Owl
under the water, it
friends.
would make this.
Well, I mean, the owls, I can summon them for an hour.
They couldn't carry me though.
Can you summoned a shark before?
Yeah.
That's more fun than an owl, at least in the water.
Well, they.
I was just thinking to
Again,
get us there, but
Yeah. Well,
That's
if,
what I was
if
thinking of boat.
I mean, maybe we're just gonna have to risk the ferry. I don't know how long would it take us to get to the other town. So we were in Elamantia. The other one, I don't remember the name of.
Senshin.
Ascension. How long would it take us to get there?
It's all the way on the other side of the lake, so if you're going around the long way, it's probably a couple of days.
Ugh. Yeah. No, can't do that.
well, what about? I mean,
When you
what
say
about
take the
kind of a
ferry,
direct approach? What if we just head into the temple and see how deep it goes? There must be depths to it. Or at
But-
least I
Like
wouldn't be
just jump
surprised.
down the well. I mean, that'll definitely take us directly to the. It's not anywhere near the center of the lake, but I mean, it would definitely take us down.
I mean, your purple thing's in the center of the lake, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that might just go down deeper, where a bunch of tentacled things live.
Okay, so how about this? Our concern, I think, with the ferry. Do you guys think that would be like the people just wouldn't let us ride it? We'd have to, they try to attack us on sight. I don't know. I saw them
don't
all
think
on the banks.
The villagers just sort of stared. It was kind of
Yeah, they left us alone.
Yeah.
yeah, they left us alone because we were leaving the temple.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Concern is we get to the center of the lake at the surface of the water, and then what?
That's
We have no idea how deep it is.
There.
We don't know if the fissure is underground. Are we going to
It's-
get to the bottom of the lake and then try to dig?
I don't think it's underground. I think it's definitely touching the spirit in some way, which would mean that it was in the lake. I would hazard to say that it's probably at the bottom, because the light isn't even escaping the water. So here's my thought. What if we went into town and told the people that we were there to strike a bargain with the spirit? Maybe take it up on its offer. Lie. Or, unless you're actually considering it.
That was more utter
That
convenience.
that might be our ticket to being able to get on the ferry without hassle.
Yeah.
And when we get to the center, jump ship.
I'll
still a
sink like
lifeboat.
a stone. I'll go straight to it.
Does the ferry go through the center?
Well, we could steal a lifeboat and see how far we can get.
Yeah.
Other ideas? That's all I got right now.
Yeah.
The size of the critter that you described has kind of blown my mind on a scale, so I'm struggling with that. So
I think when it manifests more in a version that would be identifiable as the spirit, I think it'd be smaller. But it definitely is that spirit is the lake. It's
right.
Well, Nira, that Rishama does not frequently appear in a manifested form, but can sort of grant visions of its form, even in places that it has not tangibly manifested. And so you got the feeling that what you saw on the surface was kind of like that. It was more like an image than the physical thing beneath the water.
Okay. But yeah, it's big.
I mean, it was like you guys saw in the temple. It kind of appeared to you as an image in the mist.
Well, I mean,
But my feeling is that it has that beast with the tentacles. I don't think that was the actual spirit. That was definitely something else.
a pet.
Unleash the Kraken.
If we were able to slide in carefully and close that purple thing, that's probably where it's drawing some of its power, at least, right? So that would make it weaker.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably significant.
And then we can just boot the hell out of here, because we don't want to necessarily kill the damn thing.
The spirit?
Well, why not? Leave it alone.
Right. I just want to get rid of the fisher if that's what's causing the problem.
But it's enslaving people.
Oh, maybe only because it's got the power.
Right. If we take away its power, it can no longer do that.
Well,
And if it can, we'll deal with that.
kick in the shins then,
Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, I don't think that we just boink out the fisher or get rid of the fisher and then leave. We can always
so-
stay and see.
Think about
Yeah.
Sitzlebeck. And when Sitzlebeck was under the influence of this fisher, under the influence of the magic ring, and when everything blew up, it became something else entirely, right? Yeah. So where these fishers touch these other spirits, they change, and if you take that away, what are you left with?
Yeah, there's definitely a dark taint. Okay.
Make a religion check, Nira.
I mean, they're still powerful.
And you can make a nature check, Amethyst.
I think that's a +5.
21.
Water might retreat too. Maybe that town wouldn't drown so much if the spirit's got its.
Right. It wouldn't have the power to push out further anymore.
18
Might
bump.
even retract.
Okay. What Nira, is that first, Amethyst, what you know is that one of the fundamental differences between spirits and the mortal creatures such as yourselves is that while for a mortal creature their physical form it is what it is. It changes over time, but it's not ephemeral. It's tangible, it's real, it's defined, and your nature within that, like, you can change your mind about how you feel about something. You can change your beliefs about something. You can learn new information and have it change your personality. You grow and learn and change, but you stay fundamentally the same creature. You have 2 arms, 2 legs, and so on. And magic can get involved there, but that's kind of how a mortal creature works. Whereas a spirit, their physical manifestation can change a lot, and it's very variable, but they are kind of mentally defined by whatever they're tied to. And so that means that small spirits especially can be changed quite a bit. Their nature can be changed quite a bit. For example, Sitzlebeck, before the explosion, became like greedy and cruel when the river was being poisoned with the magic chemicals. So the environment that shapes a spirit definitely shapes its personality also. But Nira knows that for very old, very big spirits like Rushama and like Elamon, they tend to be powerful enough that any variation in their environment does not change them a lot, and to change their nature a lot would take something really, really big. And that's why generally they're thought of as unchanging, because they're unchanging on the scale of mortal lifetimes. But if something were to happen that would change them in a more substantial way, it would have to be correspondingly big.
Right. So by that logic, getting rid of the fissure would be big enough to maybe possibly change it.
Yeah.
If it indeed is what changed it in the first place.
Now, we've seen these people in this town, and they seem pretty screwed up. I wonder if all the towns are like that. And I also kind of wonder if anybody remembers what Elamon was like before this. This all happened, 100 years ago? If you could find an elf or someone who lasts a long time, maybe they know what happened or can tell what the changes are like.
Well, we were only just hearing rumors about something strange going on here when we first emerged from the temple and went down to...
Andrew says the flooding we
Belmonte.
learned has only just been in the last couple, like that's recent. The flooding.
Yeah.
But, we had been hearing kind of rumors that the town was sort of getting gradually stranger for, decades. But, I mean, I don't know. Hundreds of years ago, I don't know.
And we don't know if all of these fissures formed at the same time or if they're sort of bubbling up. I mean, we should keep track of that map. There may be new ones that pop up.
Yeah.
I mean, the lake spirit is very old. It's been around, certainly before any history we know of.
But I guess I'm wondering if it was always so bloodthirsty or wanted people to sacrifice themselves for it. If it always like that, then it's going to be like that after it loses power, just less powerful to do it. But if it was nicer before, then closing that fissure, cutting off the power.
Take away the source of its power, it won't be able to do the things that it promises people that it can do now. And so those people would lose belief, and then the spirit, in theory. I mean, when people stop believing in a spirit and stop paying tribute to it, like we saw at that other temple, it was crumbling. So if it cannot fulfill its promises, those followers are going to lose their faith.
But it's older than the power. It has some power of its own.
True.
Yep.
I'm just wondering if it becomes a good guy after the fissures closed and all this extra stuff that's got its head loaded with power and swearing at everybody. Once it's closed, maybe it goes back to being just a minor evil thing, or maybe it goes back to being a good thing.
That's exactly what we've seen. Our first instance with it was literally, people that once they were freed of it, they were fine.
Yeah.
Or dead.
Just have to close the fissure and see.
But there were one or two at the beginning.
That's another thing, though. I mean, that means all we have to do is close the fissure. We don't have to fight the thing.
Right.
But to get to it, we may have to do some fighting. And
or sneaking. I hid from a metallic
plate
death
armor
match for several months, or several years, I should say.
Yeah.
Maybe we can hide it. We could even find something to cushion that metal box you live in there, Otterkey. maybe it won't clink as loud underwater.
Yeah, maybe not.
You plan on wearing that all the way down there?
All the way down.
Probably rub it through fish oil or something.
Okay, so let's think about the problem once we get down to the water. Like we have to go in it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Brilliant.
So Amethyst
Take the
can
ferry.
cast the water breathing. The problem lies in if there's someone with the ability to dispel that.
Yeah, that sucked.
What do
Yeah,
we
that sucked hard. I really
Can you do it
thought.
more than once?
Hmm?
Can you do it more than once?
I can
guess
cast it. Let's see. I can after a long rest. If I'm all recharged, I don't know how long I rested, but I can cast it 3 times.
So we can recover.
If I don't cast anything else, like if I mean that also means I can't conjure animals. So we'll just kind of have to see how that goes.
Well, I mean, what's more important here? Breathing?
Exactly.
Breathing.
Agreed.
I mean,
All
mouth
right.
to mouth with a shot might work, but I'm not going to try it.
All right. So
I'm going to rest up for battle.
Yeah. Well, I have to figure out like if I want to equip any different spells. So control water is a gimme for me. I always know that one.
We probably don't have a blanket big enough for you to sleep on, but yeah, you can probably take mine. I'm used to sleeping on rocks.
It's fine. I'll make do. I appreciate the thought though. Let's see.
Andri kind of says, maybe this is silly to even suggest, so I'm just going to toss it out there as part of the mix, but this is an intelligent spirit. Could we reason with it?
Well,
It's always possible. It seemed quite adamant.
it kind of gave us no choice. We join it or die. Granted, I don't respond well to that, so I may have been a little angry.
Well, to be fair, it was join or leave.
It was wielding large tentacles. I figured that was a little more of a suggestion than leave.
I think it was implied.
And the other one did try to kill us.
Right. I mean, it gave
Oh.
us 3 options. Said we can leave, we can serve it, or we can, leave us to our fate. Like if we really wanted to tempt that. But yeah, it was definitely threatening, and I don't. It said. So what gets me is it said we wouldn't be permitted. I have to wonder if it has some means of keeping us from physically reaching it.
Mm-hmm.
You mean like water?
I mean, even aside from that, if it can control water, it might be able to control the currents within it and, physically keep us away from it, just using that. Yeah, the pressure is going to be insane, like getting down to the bottom of that lake too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Your water foo will have to be strong.
I mean, I did kind of throw it in his face, but I could make a gesture. I still have these stones from Haraz that to be given from spirit to spirit. I didn't exactly say no. Well, okay, I probably did exactly say no, but maybe we could get a message to them through the people here that we want to talk. He doesn't want to close this fissure, though. That's always going to be a sore topic.
Deception? Tell it we need to evaluate the fissure, strengthen the fissure.
I don't think it's gonna buy that. It can.
Well,
It
you
can
guys
sense
didn't
the
even
thoughts
tell
and
it anything, right? How did it even know that's what you were wanting to do?
It's true.
It said it knew.
It did. So I'm just saying.
It knew our
Look, I'm not
desires.
trying to shoot down any ideas here. I'm just.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
This is hard.
Another possibility is maybe this is too much for us right now. Maybe we go after another one.
Well, but the longer that we wait, the stronger it's gonna get.
But if we fight on this one and without not winning a battle, all the others are going to get strong too, right?
I wonder if the West Coast fissure is somehow connected. If there's water elves involved in both areas. Maybe
Are we
investigating that one will give us a way over to this one.
Or allies who can swim and breathe underwater.
I don't know about y'all, but I am not in a hurry to trust another water elf, half or otherwise.
No.
I mean, one of them was terrible, but you don't throw out the bushel of apples.
And if they're under the influence of one of these fishers, I'm definitely not trusting them.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think we, I don't know, maybe we just have to try. Just go for it.
All right, so we go on the ferry. We take the ferry, turn it to where we want to go, and then over the side.
Yeah, I mean, we could, if it doesn't go directly over the center, I'm sure the ferry has lifeboats.
Yeah.
Just take one.
All right. We can
I
sleep
wonder if
on
we're
it
going to
anyway.
have to buy you more than one ticket, Nira. I don't think you'll fit in the seats.
That might be a little conspicuous.
I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot of standing.
Also, you're not going to fit in a boat, like a little dinghy.
That's true.
That'd be funny, but you can maybe strap one to each foot.
Also, just recall, as far as timing goes, you guys actually did a long rest in the afternoon, early evening, the day before you infiltrated the temple. So although it is the middle of the night now, you guys, it would be, relatively speaking, only about midday for you. Now, you could go ahead and do a long rest now, that's fine. But I just thought I would remind you of kind of how that timed out.
Unless anybody needs to recharge.
Well, I think,
Spell slots.
yeah, spell slots are the biggest concern here.
Welcome back.
Sorry about that, guys.
No problem.
Google literally just went, nope. It was like, can't load the page. You're just done. Had to reboot all the things. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. Worked out.
Damn it, Google Water
I figured
Spirit.
out the secret plan while you were gone.
I figured it would go much easier without me, so I took my time.
Yeah, I think we're gonna take the boat. We're gonna go for it. Cast water breathing in the
At
way.
least make an attempt, anyway.
Totally.
What's the worst that can happen? I mean, what? Large sea monster comes up and eats us all? That's all
Again?
okay.
That's
Been
just
there.
the worst thing you could think of after like 10 seconds.
You're not even trying yet.
Well, you know, there's probably a bit of a walk on the way to the ferry. I'm sure I can come up with something much worse.
I mean,
Oh.
maybe we could try to lure the monster out, and I can hit it with lightning. I don't know, something. I don't know. Get on the boat, and we'll see. Maybe just yelling at the spirit will attract its attention and say, "Hey, we want to talk."
Yeah.
They're probably going to charge double for you, though.
Got jokes. Still
Probably.
got jokes after a
Technically,
smash.
she's 3 times the height, which means that she's technically, I think, is that 16 times volume? 8 times, not
We'll have
8
you,
times, not 16.
bend over. We'll put a robe over you, and you'll just look like a really fat friar.
How big's this fairy?
You might be more than a floor of it.
Andrew says, it's pretty big, but right now, so are you.
Well, I guess we'll
Now,
just.
if we can find something handy just to smite for a couple of hours, that would be fine. Because I want to see you hit something again.
That was fun.
Any big rocks nearby?
Need some trees chopped down? I can do that one swing.
Clearly need a lot more practice with my crossbow and with my dagger. And look over with Andrew kind of sheepishly.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if we're going to do a long rest, there's not really much point. But I'm a cleric. I could heal you. I'm sorry.
You could still.
Yeah, should be fine.
Andrew,
All
do you
right.
know the schedule this ferry might take? Is it too late tonight?
Andrew says, I think it mostly just goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth for however long it takes to get anywhere. And it wasn't there when we were there. So my guess would be that it's on its way back now, but I don't know exactly when it would come.
We need to recover spell slots, though, before we.
Would we see it from here coming in? Can we get some higher ground?
Well,
maybe?
you guys went several miles away from the lake, so no.
No? Okay.
Not from where you are.
Well, I mean, Nira kind of counts as high ground.
I am going to pick him up and lift him up. Can
Hey,
you see it?
This is
How's that? Is that helping?
exactly 10 minutes to stop this.
Set him back down.
Yeah,
That was
it's a distance
strange.
thing, not a line of sight thing from here. I mean,
I almost saw it.
Sure.
Let me give you a closer look. Dwarf
Can see it
tossing.
now.
Okay, so we're doing a long rest, correct?
yeah,
All right.
that sounds like your plan. So you guys,
Can I ask you a quick question as I'm looking over my spells? This is a spirit, not a beast, not a creature, not a humanoid, right?
correct.
As
We
far
don't know
as
about the
know?
tentacle monster, though.
Right. Okay.
Well, bear in mind that the spirits that we're using in this setting don't fall neatly into D&D's creature categories. So
Right.
if you have a question about like something related to rules, let me know and I'll
Okay.
interpret. Excuse me. Because normally it would be like beast or aberration or monstrosity
Right.
or whatever, but
Is it a shape changer? Would we call it a shape changer?
no.
Okay.
Shape changers more like werewolves or
Right.
that sort of thing.
So I have a question before we even get there. If we are under the lake and I call lightning, how does that work? Because technically the
That's
water is
how the
under the
ceilings
open
are.
sky,
Mhm.
and electricity does travel through water. So
And
Yeah.
we'll be in
I
it.
just want to know
Well,
ahead of
so-
time.
Yeah, so I think you can probably guess by the fact that if you're swimming in a lake and a lightning storm comes through, they don't say, "Okay, everybody, dive underwater."
Yeah.
Okay,
so-
so it would work. Okay.
It would
You,
it would work so well. We'll be
I
singed.
actually vaguely recall a MythBusters or something. I remember hearing somewhere that a lightning striking something as big as a lake does not just electrify the whole lake. But at the same time, you're not going to be able to make it go where you want it to go under the surface either.
And we're standing right there. We're floating right there.
Yeah.
Take all the fun out of this.
trying to keep my beard hair.
You're the one that wants to go underwater. I'm not doing anything.
I mean, if you're gonna go
Don't
like
let me
me,
have a choice.
I hope I'm.
It's underwater.
Don't you? Don't you have a choice?
I mean, I think if you're telling me that you're gonna shock me as soon as we get underwater, I'm having second thoughts about the plan. And
All right,
I could be
fine.
in wild shape, which means I would just
Fine.
revert. But y'all, crispy.
Wild
like
shape
my
into
shocking
an
grasp.
electric eel.
My shocking grasp was all right. I mean, I took 1 point of damage, but everybody else was fine. So
If you're willing to take that risk with us, that's fine. Just gathering information for my decisions. That's all. Appreciate the warning. Again, if I'm in beast shape, that's easy for me. I just worry about all the rest of you. But it will be exciting.
I'll be in some kind of shape. Probably something that looks like.
all right. So let me
My
go over
gosh.
my spell list.
I got some really fun spells on the last level up. Oh my god, I haven't really had a chance to look at them. They're so amazing.
I know I haven't used any of mine yet, because that one with the trident that she used, I just got that, the Guardian of
Yeah.
Faith, and I haven't used it yet.
Ugh.
Control Water and Ice Storm, I haven't used either.
Yeah, I got to cast Confusion. It didn't land, but I love that spell. What was the name of this spell that Callista used to shrink up that shell? Or are we going to count on
Enlarge,
Enlarge,
reduce.
reduce.
Enlarge, reduce? Okay. you
Yeah,
don't-
I don't think druids or clerics can do it.
It's not in my set.
Seems
at
like a
least not now.
wizardly thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I ain't there
think
yet.
sorcerers can do it too. Maybe warlocks, but not druids and
Very
clerics.
useful. Okay. So I'm going to assume that Chooch let the dog in instead of the dog letting itself in and closing the door behind it. Chooch went AFK and suddenly there's Kaylee. Like, what the? That's a weird spell to cast.
Conjure Kaylee.
Conjure Kaylee. Okay.
A summoned woodland creature, right?
Such a weirdo.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so Chooch, we are resting and choosing spells and waiting for your K to be back, your AFK to BRB, or whatever.
Yep. So you guys, taking a long rest when you guys started is going to leave you guys at like midday.
Okay.
And you are currently like an hour or so outside of town.
Okay.
Crispy players here. Get your extra crispy players. Still sitting. Got that in the chat going on right now.
So, do we make it through a long rest, or do
Yeah.
we have something
Yep.
happen? I'm so paranoid from that last annihilation.
Yeah. That in Tomb of Annihilation, I'm rolling the random encounters frequently. But bear in mind too, we were going through days like,
Oh yeah,
especially when you were traveling. So,
Sure.
this is a slower paced campaign generally.
So I'm wondering if I should switch up sending for like bestow curse, but that requires me to touch a thing. Still really cool.
Not going to have to touch a thing.
I have no choices.
Yep.
I practiced throwing the dagger and trying to hit the thing I meant to hit. Clearly,
Always
I
good.
failed practice.
Well, the stakes have never been deeper.
Crossbow treats you much better than it ever did me.
The whole situation's kind of fluid, really.
Oh gosh, I hope we're done soon. I hope we're ready soon. The puns are flying.
Got to go with the flow. Right away.
Saying the show's gone down the drain.
You got to sound it out.
Okay.
Don't beach about it.
Oh, come on now. All right now. We're better than this. We're better than this. I believe in
Come on,
us.
guys, we're running lake.
Okay. I am switching
That's
up
helpful.
sending for spirit guardians, I think.
Got to get our ducks in a row.
Choices, guys. So many choices.
No, this is crazy. This
Whatever
is
floats your boat, really.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know what spells do you need to go down to the bottom of the lake and
You have a spell called
That's-
spelunking, maybe,
I know.
or force the bad guy to just stop for a while. That'd be great.
okay, I think
That'd be
that's
called
about.
Old Monster, I think, actually.
FYI, with this
Right.
group, you damn right I took Lesser Restoration. Y'all get into so much trouble. I don't know if anybody else took it, but I did.
I have it. I've had it for a while. It was like the only time I've ever needed it. It needed to be greater restoration. So I was like, well,
in the chat we have offered. We've pondered this long enough.
Oh, I see how it is.
What are you
Okay.
talking about?
okay. All right. So are we heading back?
Yep, I got mine.
No, I have to.
Lord.
I still have all these like crazy amounts of hit points right now. So
Oh, you do, don't you?
I have
Yeah.
120 hit points right now.
Oh,
Doubled
Oof.
from giant size.
wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty boss.
So,
Let's do this.
you can't ride a horse for
Yeah. I'll be walking,
You
but my
walk
speed's
as-
doubled, right?
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I decided that it was, even though I guess the mechanic didn't say. I would imagine that you're finding a comfortable walking speed is about what they're managing on the horses, and yeah. So you guys make your way back towards town, and when you're
I'm just going to stow that robe. It's probably a little too conspicuous, but I'm going to keep it.
also, you kind of had the impression that they weren't
With a
fooled by
giant
it.
No,
So-
that's true.
Wait, what?
They were really
What?
fooled by it.
So you guys make your way back to town. At a distance, it seems like the town has resumed its normal business.
Everybody act casual. Stomp, 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 stomp.
As you start making your way into town, you realize that people are acting like they don't see you.
That's better than some places I've been.
I'll note here that this is not. You don't believe that you're actually invisible. They look like they are deciding to not see you.
Shun the non-believers.
Shun!
We need someone behind us with a bell. Shame. Shame.
Fun. Of course. Judging.
Andrew can lead you back to where the ferry used to dock, but of course the lake has moved on, so it might have been moved or or just be partly submerged.
Right.
Is there a dock master or a
Best
ticket
place
maker?
to start.
Yeah. So you do head in that direction. You find a spot that does seem to be where they are selling ferry tickets, and the guy closes the sales window as you walk up.
Mm.
So I guess that means we don't have to pay.
It's never quite what that means.
I'll go first.
Henry is kind of peering out over the water and says, "I do see it coming. It'll probably maybe an hour."
Well,
You got a knock, or shall
Well,
I?
do we want to make an attempt to speak to it? We just yell it at the water. I know it'll hear us. It knows we're here.
Right.
Right. To buy a ticket.
I think, didn't we just try and they closed it in our face?
Well, they're still in there.
I mean, okay, knock. Let's go talk to him.
Excuse
let's
me.
go.
Talk. Somebody in there? Open up. I saw you in there. I can even hear you in there. Is it locked?
Nope.
And I just start lifting it up.
There's a half-hearted attempt to try to pull it back closed, but if you're,
So you are in there.
he just looks away.
You don't have to like the look at me, but I want to buy a ticket or 4. Or 5. I can count. Shut up. Maybe 5.5. 6.
Dwarf needs more sleep.
He's kind of just shaking his head, looking at the ground.
He's aware we're getting on that ferry regardless, right?
Well, I mean, now that you've said it, yeah, probably. Look, buddy, I don't want to make your life hard. It's already hard enough. I just want to give you money so we can get on that ferry. That seems like a pretty fair deal. That's what you do here, isn't it?
You don't need to. He tries to pull the thing closed again.
But wait, what do you mean I don't need to? We can just take the ferry? Doesn't cost anything? That's a terrible way to run business.
Seem eager to get us out of town.
What was that it?
I mean,
You want us
ferry
to go?
seems the fastest way.
Because if that's what you want, that's fine. I still pay my dues, though.
It won't take your money. It's tainted.
No, that's pretty good, actually. Fine dwarven money.
Why is it tainted? Why won't you take it? What makes it tainted?
You oppose the spirit of the lake.
We had a disagreement. I'm sure people have had disagreements before. To be fair, it kind of opposed us first.
We came out of good intention. We heard that there were problems here, and it wasn't anything intentional. We were led there to be a sacrifice. We were just trying to escape.
Just leave me out of it.
All
We
right.
don't want to cause more problems for this guy. Let's just wait for the ferry.
When it comes to anybody asks, I didn't even talk to you. Does that make you feel better? Maybe.
The lake knows. He pulls the window closed again.
I let it go this time.
Yeah, whatever.
I think these people got a whipping. That's what it looks like. Somebody cracked the whip and they're all getting in line.
Curious.
Yeah. I won't say that they'll likely try to drown us when we get out there on the ferry, but they'll likely try to drown us. When
Oh, yeah, that's a good bet. Safe bet.
So whatever fancy magics you got ready, make sure not drowning is one of them. Just
Hopefully. Hey,
personal request.
That's my favorite.
I don't have the faith that I used to have in it, but I'm ready.
Every day I wake up and I say, I'm not going to drown today. I say a lot of things, but.
Do you want to go ahead and that water breathing is 24 hours? Is that what you said? Do you want to just go ahead and?
Sure. Do you want to go yell at the lake while we're waiting? I mean, if we got an hour to kill until the boat gets here, let's go talk to
the lake.
Well, you said it would hear us. I don't see anything wrong with it.
It will hear us. It probably hears us right now. I mean, we're standing in water.
Yeah. So, boomf, damp, water breathing, casted.
Once again, you feel that familiar sort of feeling of warmth in your chest as the spell takes hold.
Tingly.
I think my heart fluttered.
Sweet talker.
It's probably not personal. All right. Well, we got nothing to do but wait. Oh, what are we going to do with this horse? I wasn't.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Well, they could probably come with us on the ferry.
Was it that kind of ferry?
I don't think we need the wagon, right? We just need the horses. Did you guys bring the wagon?
I'm
Well, it's been
switching our
attached to the horse.
ambiance to River Town.
We brought it all, baby.
Yeah, we brought the wagon just because, why
I mean,
not?
we needed to carry the shell. That's not really an issue anymore.
Yeah, I don't think we need it. We just need the
How are we
horses.
gonna get it out.
Yeah,
We'll work out that.
cut the edge of the sea.
I think we have bigger problems right now, so
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
There's always Melican. Melican. All right, so
I mean,
I didn't even think about that. I wonder if she would have had some.
I don't
advice.
really care. It's not going to affect my horse, but if for some reason the ferry
Where is your
gets
horse
swamped-
anyway? I haven't seen it around.
Well, I think he had it.
Yeah, my horse
The
is
others.
Oh, you still have
Yes.
it? All right.
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought you dismissed it when we went into the water.
No. Yeah.
No, we always tie his horse. His horse is the boss horse.
Yeah. the horse sitter,
Mhm.
horsey sitter.
The horse whisperer.
That might be. We're gonna have to leave the horses on the ferry, though. When
Yeah, it's, I
Well,
mean,
let's just
it
not
seems
bother taking the
safer
horses.
to house them here, although,
nobody will do business with us then.
yeah, that's
Not even
true.
our horse. I mean, if I recall correctly. Did we get the horse and take the wagon from someone else? I really am not attached to it.
The wagon was Estevan's.
Yeah.
Right.
I have no idea where we got the horse.
The horses you guys had horses from back all the way in Villalacta.
Oh, right. We actually have individual horses. I can't ride very well. That's why I try not to think of it.
You are
Right.
one down currently though because Neros was killed by the bullet.
Right.
Right.
But wasn't there one attached to the wagon?
Yes. So
So
yes.
so it evens out in the end.
Yeah.
Okay, well while we're waiting, I am going to walk to the end of the dock and kind of look at the water a little bit.
We can probably tie the horses up by a tree somewhere where there's plenty of grass. They'll be fine.
Not near the lake. That is. It's flooded.
No. Back where the trees are.
Yeah.
Now we can tie them to vengeance. They can just pasture.
Yeah, that's the usual. I'd
I
have
can
vengeance.
I can speak to him within a mile, so they're
For a little while then.
don't get too far away. Then
Well, it's our best option, so.
All right.
we'll find him when we come back.
Yep.
Use stable vengeance. Wait.
So Christiana, for your benefit, Nira is having thoughts about the offer it was given. Or
Okay.
she was given. Just so you know.
Not going to lose another one, are we? Another turn.
But I mean, the lake spirit would know that, so.
Yeah.
Goddamn elves. Can't trust goddamn elves.
Chaotic good, man.
She didn't ask for this.
So Nira might be willing to bargain, potentially.
Is she just going out and just sitting, or?
Yeah, she's just kind of looking at the water and thinking to herself and looking surly, as she does.
So pretty normal.
You can, as you're sitting out there, you can see the ferry coming. It is actually pretty big. You know, certainly there's not going to be any question of you being too big to fit on it. You'll certainly be too big to be comfortable in any of the normal seats or anything. But it actually has 2 levels above the water, and it's probably 80 feet long or so. It's flat bottom. Not flat bottom. That's not right. But it's pretty big. It looks like it could easily carry dozens of people as passengers, and it has an open area in the middle that you know, horses and so on could be led on in order carts and cargo to be carried across the lake. So it's on its way, but if everyone's just kind of hanging out waiting for it, then you do that.
So the map is in the bag of holding, correct?
Well, I guess you guys tell me. Would you took out a bunch of stuff before you?
Amethyst
Put it
had
in
the
there.
bag and the map, so I don't know if she was.
I'm gonna
can't.
assume you guys have the map
Okay,
outside of
So can we be looking at it as we travel?
sure.
And will we be able to tell when it starts getting more
Not
pinpointy?
necessarily, because it does get smaller, but again, the scale of the map is what it is.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's like it could be a point on the map that would still be difficult to narrow down to say, yes, that's right here, because it doesn't zoom in or anything.
Enhance.
But you also recall that when you got really close to the fissures in the mines before, you kind of felt them, like through the little, through your scar a little bit.
All right.
So, The ferry draws close. There is a dock that is it is clearly been improvised. They've built a scaffolding that allows a floating platform to be floated out to meet it when it comes in. Now several feet above where the level of the lake would have been before. You see it sort of pull in. It actually, it's not 100%. It has no sails and no oars sticking out the side. You're not really sure how it moves itself, but it comes in quietly. There, you see a fair amount of people standing kind of on the deck, but they're being quiet, and it comes in. It slows to a stop again without any obvious action being taken other than the fact that it slows, and then sort of a gangplank lowers onto this platform, and people start to file out. Most of them are doing like the people here in town did, which is they are sort of very conscientiously not looking at you. Here and there, though, there are a couple of people who you guess might be out-of-towners who are looking really confused. Like, what's going on? This is weird.
Well, I look at the rest of us. We don't have like an obvious symbol on our forehead or something, or somebody drew a penis on our forehead. Some other indication. They just think we're dickheads because they know something about us. They've met us.
So, one of the people who looks like maybe a traveling merchant has kind of a case, kind of is watching some of the other people get off, and kind of approaches you, Alaric, and kind of says, "What's going on?"
It's a funny town. You never been here before?
Well, you can.
Yeah, it's not necessarily bad advice. You're not going to make a lot of friends here unless you're willing to submit, essentially.
Well, I mean, every town's got their weirdness, especially with the big spirits, but...
Yeah, this one's kind of consolidated weirdness. They're all kind of in on it. And
very devoted.
Yeah. You'll probably find yourself, if not shunned like we are now, probably at least ostracized, maybe looked down upon, maybe even dragged into a temple. Some people decide to drag you into a temple, and it seems like a great idea. Don't do it. I'm just going to tell you that now.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm going to go now because these people seem to not like you, so I don't know that me talking to you any longer is going to help me out.
That's fair. That's fair, yeah.
Good luck.
Good
You're
day.
going to need it.
Several dozen people emerge from the sort of the gangplank. Then gradually, no more people come, and the boat just sits there with the gangplank sort of down there on the platform, open.
Do we see any emergency boats or dinghies tied up alongside the boat at all?
There are a couple of dinghy-type boats that are sort of lashed to the sides.
Oh, good. All right. I'll make sure I note where they are, because probably going to steal one later. Yeah, let's go.
All right, climbing aboard?
Yep.
All right.
If they don't block us.
You enter along the side of the first level that is above the surface. There's a walkway that runs, to the left and to the right. To the right is towards the front of the ship, and there's an open area there. Towards the back, it continues, and there's some stairs that go up to the next level up. And then, of course, there's several doors and portholes leading to the interior of this central part of the boat.
How high is the ceiling on this level?
Well, so you're not inside it yet. You're still sort of on the walkway on the outside, but it's a little shorter than an average building might be. So it's maybe 8 feet.
So unless you want to crawl near Akina,
Yeah, I'm going up front. I'll use the walkway and go up front.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a squeeze going through there, but you're able to make it through, and then there's a spot there that is plenty of room for you to kind of hang out. It's not super comfortable there, but it's where you kind of saw people standing when they were waiting to get off. You notice as you're kind of getting on board, there's no one else getting on board.
That's fair. I'm kind of imagining the Hulk sitting in the front part of the Quinjet.
Yeah.
Are there people like working on the ferry? Like, do we see anybody?
You don't see anybody.
That means there might be a way to stop this thing where we want to stop it.
Or just moves on
And
its own.
nobody to prevent us from doing so. So, who's the most mechanically inclined amongst you? Go have a look around, because I can't.
I'll take a look for controls, I guess.
Yeah.
Are we not sure that this thing is just run by the spirit itself? I mean, if there's
No idea, but that's why we're looking, right?
The boat starts to pull away from the dock. Nobody even came to pick up the gangplank, so it falls into the water as the boat pulls away from the docks.
I'm going to look for the name on the side of the ship. Is it the SS Trap?
The SS Minnow.
It's a 3-hour tour, right?
sure.
3-hour tour.
Paulette said it sounds like a scary ferry.
Yeah.
This is the Vengeance Ferry, I think.
Yeah, there's not like a name that painted on that you can see anywhere. But yeah, it starts to pull away, and once again, it's like there's no sails, there's no oars, and it makes no sound as it starts pulling away from the dock and turning and kind of looping around and starting to head slowly out towards the lake. You guys are still out sort of on the front of the boat, the main deck.
I would like to look in the water and see if I see anything down there.
I mean, it's daytime above the surface. You can't see too far down into the water.
But even if there was just like murky shadows that maybe look like tentacles moving around,
No, not that you see.
I didn't get detect magic, so I don't know if this is a. I didn't take that one.
It's probably a magic boat.
Could be. So why don't you guys go have a look around? I'm kind of, stuck. I'll keep a lookout.
All that short people look around for you.
All right.
Can look around and see what I see.
So from this front area where Nira is sort of camped out, there are a couple of steep, narrow staircases that go down to a below deck area. There's a door that enters this level of the interior of the boat, and then if you go around back, there's stairs that go up to the second level.
I'm going down.
Right.
I'll go up. Oh,
Aha! You thought you fooled me, huh? Well, guess what?
Triple split.
I know what's both upstairs and downstairs. Can't fool me. So Alaric goes downstairs, and your eyes take a moment to adjust. It's it's not dark, but compared to the bright sunlight outside, it's dimmer by comparison.
More comfortable already.
Yeah, and as you get down there, you realize there's kind of sawdust and hay kind of scattered around on the floor down here. This is clearly the cargo area, and in fact, towards the back of the ship, it's a big open area down here, and you can see an area where a bigger door could be opened on the side to potentially allow, larger cargo or whatever to be loaded into this part of the ship. And although there are clearly signs of stuff having been in here recently, right now it is empty.
All right. I'll poke around in case maybe they had a hidden stash or something. That's about it. We'll find a crowbar.
Go ahead and and make a perception check.
9.
9. You find a pile of horse apples.
Not that hungry. Not by far.
Oh, that reminds me to hand out some good berries before you start looking at them horse apples differently.
We skipped breakfast, didn't we?
Right. Again.
Lunch.
So, Otterkey, you walked around, back down along the side of the ship towards the back where the stairs to go up are. And once you are up there, you are currently towards the back of the ship. There's a door that goes into the interior on the second level, and also another walkway that's above the first one that goes back towards the front.
I'm gonna go towards the front.
Okay. You pass along various, portholes that, if you kind of glance in, you get the sense that this is maybe where passenger cabins are, for anyone, willing to pay for, like a room.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but you clearly pass, there's a break in it where you could cross over to the other side before another enclosed area that seems to be where would be sort of the command, piloting area where the crew might be if there are some there.
It's definitely where I want to be.
So do you walk around the front of it outside, or do you enter through the door you find there?
Yeah, I enter through the door.
All right. As you enter, there are some of the things that you would often expect to see in like a sailing vessel where the command would be. There is a wheel. There's a table with some charts on it that look to be like a map of the lake, and some various instruments and gear. The little the thingy. The
Sextant?
Yeah, that's what it was. That was a test, by the way. I didn't know if you knew. Yeah, so you see various gear and everything, but there is nobody in here.
I want to examine the map and see if there's any writing or anything.
It's certainly a much sort of like higher resolution map, so to speak. It's compared to your regional map. It shows the entire lake, and where proportionally allowed, it shows the two cities, and it has sort of a dotted line tracked along it that would look to be its normal course.
Mm-hmm. Does it go through the center of the lake?
Not really. I mean, it's kind of more towards one side, but
Okay.
I mean, it's not hugging the perimeter either,
Mm-hmm.
but it is not going through what you would call the center.
Okay. I want to head over to the wheel and look at the wheel and the stuff around it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's investigation or
Well,
if there's something I can surmise from it.
I guess just perception if you want to just see if if anything looks unusual or if you notice anything.
Mm-hmm. So 15?
Yeah, you realize that a lot of this stuff, it doesn't look like it was sort of, suddenly abandoned. It looks as though all of these sorts of tools have been stowed carefully. Like, they were put away deliberately. And they are where they would be easily accessible to anyone who needed to use them. But they're not like left out. They have been put away. And the wheel, you kind of try it, or
Yeah. I want to see if I can turn it, and if that
it-
responds.
It wobbles a little bit freely, but if you try to turn it more than a few degrees, it just increasingly resists you, and unless you want to try really hard, you're
Yeah, I don't
not
want
able
to
to turn
break it or anything. Okay.
So while they're investigating,
You and
I'm-
Amethyst are just chilling. Little
Yeah.
girl talk.
And Andre.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
So I'm gonna kind of go to the side, looking out at the lake again. We want to talk to you. I know you hear me.
If you would come, then come. You hear this in your head.
Well, we're on our way. I was hoping maybe that would.
The boat is moving. I should clarify. The boat has begun its journey.
We are.
as far as
I
we
was
can
hoping
tell,
it would, turn one way or the
Oh
other,
no,
angled more towards.
no. The boat seems to continue along whatever course it is. It was already going.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when we walked up to the hatching phoenix. Like, hey, bro, we're gonna fight you in your army. What's what makes us heroes of legend? Just has that same feeling of doom about the whole thing.
That's how we do.
Woof.
That's how
Hoping
we
we
do.
all walk out of this.
So Andre kind of says, "Well, we might as well get comfortable. I think it's going to be a few hours at least before we, before we get. Are we trying to take control of the ship? What's the plan here?
I think we're just trying to get to the middle.
I mean,
I don't know what happens though when we're done. Because this boat, I don't know what the deal is, but it's definitely not moving under. There's no crew. There's nobody working.
Yeah, I noticed that too. That's a little weird.
oh no, it's drawing us right into its maw. That's what's happening. We've
Yeah.
thrown itself into the belly of the beast.
I was kind of hoping that you fancy magic users had like a plan for how to get out from the bottom of the center of the lake.
Plan?
Oh, Andre, come on now.
So cute.
Do you even
Well,
know us?
So I have a dispel magic spell. I mean, I can cast dispel magic and see if we can take control of the boat, but then what? Where are we going to drive it? Why? I mean, we're here. We're on the boat. If we can take control of it, what are we going to do differently, guys?
Well, my thought is when we need to get back to shore, if the boat was in the same place, that would be helpful
Certainly.
because it's a long way.
Well, and that's why I was hoping to have a conjure animals possibility left to get us on sharks or some shit.
Do we
This
even
is
know,
such a
like,
disaster.
so do you think it is is it taking us to the center?
That's my assumption, is that it's taking us to wherever it wants us to be to fight whatever it wants us to fight.
It's
Or
taking
have.
us across.
I've ridden it once before, but I don't remember the route well enough, especially since the landscape has changed a little bit. I don't recognize landmarks the same way.
I think we're just waiting to find out what happens next.
She kind of sits and then stands up and paces a little bit, walking back and forth, like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna check inside here. She goes in the first level.
I'm gonna
guess
head
it's-
back down to where
Yeah,
they
that's
are.
fine. I think I'll head back up. Nothing there but horse shit. Where did I see those rafts and or?
They're along the side.
Okay, I'm gonna take a close look at one of them.
Yeah. There's a couple of them that look like they're pretty sturdy, kind of just rowboat style, but a little longer, so that they could hold, a number of people. Right now, they're lashed to the side of the ship with some fancy looking knots.
Okay, can I figure out how they're supposed to be deployed?
Make an intelligence check.
That's probably no. Let's see. Oh.
So real quick, while he's rolling, Amethyst sees that Archie and Alaric are back, and I go follow Andrew.
Okay.
Check on him.
You go into the interior of this main level, and it's apparently kind of like a little mini riverboat casino in there. There's gaming tables in here, and just what looks like there's a bar in the back, and just some fancy looking tables with dice games and card games in there, and Andrew's kind of just poking around that, bemused.
Scored a bar. Nice. 19 on the intelligence roll.
Yeah, you're pretty sure. The knots, you're not familiar enough with them that you would feel comfortable messing with them before the time came, but you think you know what to pull to make the boat come off if you need to.
Okay. Would they be tethered to the ship when they were released?
It looks like when you release the knots, the lifeboat is designed to flip down into the water.
Okay. I look around for a way to tether it to the ship.
Okay. I mean, there's lots of ropes around.
Cool. That'll work.
Yeah.
Once I've got it tethered, I'm going to release it.
Okay. Sploosh. It kind of whoosh off the side, and because the ferry itself is moving, the lifeboat starts to fall behind a little bit until it hits the end of your rope tether. How long did you make the tether?
Probably only about enough that I would hit the water from where it's tethered, and then only be 10 or 15 feet away from the boat.
Yeah. Okay. So we can say
within jumping distance.
Well, so where on the ferry did you tether? So like, where is it pulling?
Just assuming there was some kind of railing or some sort of tether.
So basically, as the ferry is moving, it makes the lifeboat kind of pull and kind of bump along the side a little bit.
Yep.
And so you could actually hop over the railing right into the lifeboat if you wanted.
Perfect. That's what I do.
All right. Hop, hop. Ba-thump.
Now I'm going to try to see if I can gently row a little bit.
Okay.
Or whether this is destined to go exactly the same as the ferry is.
All right. Well, you are able to get the oars in the water and pull against it, but any amount of rowing you are able to do with an oar is insufficient to counteract the pulling that the ferry is doing.
Does it all feel the tension of that rope, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels like the ferry is pulling the lifeboat.
From the rope, though?
Yeah.
Okay. That'll work then. All right. Handy to know. All right. Mm-hmm. I also have my own private cabin now.
So I'm going to walk up to Andrea and just kind of, I don't know, ask her if she wants to play a card game. Just kind of hang out and relax while all this other stuff is going on.
Right. She grabs a deck of cards and kind of starts dealing out, a simple card game, and she kind of, looks around just to see it's just the two of you for the moment, and she just kind of says, "Are we doing the right thing here?"
If you mean blindly going in without a real plan or a way out, probably
I mean,
not.
I
Yeah.
know that's kind of your style, so, and it's worked out okay so far. I don't want to judge that exactly, but I don't know. I just mean, it was one thing when you know, like it was a monster we're fighting, or an army of evil hobgoblins, or you know, things that are so you know, obviously like invaders from outside somewhere. But I mean, this is the spirit of Lake Elamon. I mean, it's like it's always been here. It feels a little weird to be going against it like this.
As a druid, it's really important to me to have a natural balance and order to things that fits in. And one of the reasons that I've hung with this group, in spite of the things that I don't agree with, the decisions that are made against, you know, my thoughts or what I would do myself, it's important to me to try and restore that we accidentally kind of helped fuck up. Or mess up, I guess I should say. But I like to think of what we're doing with the fishers as restoring that balance of nature. And like we've done it before, we healed a river, there were elementals that we were able to get out of a realm, and all of these things that we've been able to do. And we've gotten used to the fact that we just pull it out at the last minute and we all walk away. And I think that we get really comfortable with that. And it's a lot of strong opinions. And so it's hard for me to figure my way through it myself. And so we've had similar conflicts in this. And as far as, is it right, the snail and all of these other things. But the thing that keeps me going on this is that knowing that if we can heal that fissure, if we can seal it back up, then whatever is going wrong here, whatever is going on with the spirit of Elamon will be restored in some sense, or at least it'll have a chance to be restored. If we don't try something, even without a plan, then we don't have a chance. And if the spirit talked to you the way it talked to me, probably made some really convincing statements to you that are making you question, you're trying to do good. Is this going to actually do good? And so you can really only follow your heart on that.
Yeah. It said it could help me, my husband and daughter. And, I mean, it obviously had super creepy vibe, and, you guys were, really opposed to it, and so it's kind of easy to just sort of roll with that decision. But, I won't lie, that there's a part of me that wanted to know if it could do it.
What kind of help do your husband and child need? Is it anything that we can help with? I apologize for not ever asking, or...
It's, remember, I kind of told you before that it was just... When my husband and I got married, we kind of thought that, we could overcome the idea that I kind of like being out in the world doing things and learning things and seeing things and being part of the world, and he's kind of more of a stay-at-home guy. And then when we had our daughter, he was just very insistent that she was going to be a stay-at-home girl, and I just couldn't stay in one town for the rest of my life, and it all just got kind of tense, and we didn't really leave it on great terms. And he hasn't been answering my letters, so that's where I'm at.
Well, that is certainly a very great temptation, and because it's a personal one, I don't think anybody here is going to judge you if you wanted to try and improve that situation. I wouldn't trust the spirit at all. That's why my own temptations aren't really getting it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was the thing, is that, I was definitely getting a creepy vibe too. But I mean, it's the spirit of Lake Elamon. It's been here for thousands and thousands of years. It's like, I mean, it's kind of like saying you just decide one day that you don't trust the ground to stay on the ground. It's just a little bit strange.
Well, maybe think of it as like a virus or something that, it's not, I don't think that the spirit of Lake Elamon would do these things or make these compulsions, and I don't feel like the citizens are completely, making choices on their own. There's something that's driving them and compelling them, and I think it's the Fisher, and I'm pretty convinced that if we can rid, the spirit, then the area will get better, or it'll have a chance to. And I again, that's a mighty big temptation, and I will certainly advocate for us trying to go and visit your husband and your child and try to help you with that. And that's what I was apologizing for, is not offering to try and.
Well, I appreciate it, but I mean, I don't know that it's really the sort of thing that
right.
anyone can help with, really. You know what I mean? Part of what, as much as I felt like I was tempted, I mean, I couldn't help but wonder to myself, he is the way he is, I am the way I am. I don't see what could help except changing him or me, and that feels a little weird.
Yeah. Agreed.
And I know that, at least the two of these Fishers that I've seen you guys deal with were bad news, so maybe you're right. Maybe this all feels wrong because the Fisher's making it that way. Maybe.
Yeah. Making it harder to not take the temptations. I mean, I think that's one of the things. We've given it a lot of power by getting on the boat. I don't know how else we could have gotten out here without taking on more danger, but we're going to see everything it wants us to see to try and get us to crack. And I'm here if you want to talk or play cards or play with kittens or something.
Thanks. All right. That was fun. So what's everyone else doing while Amethyst and Andrea are having that heart-to-heart?
I was going to mention, to anybody about the whole control situation, and then head back up there. And
yeah, that'd be me. I think I'm the only one at the front now.
I want to see if I can make any sense of the map and the landmarks, and see if we can tell if we're going towards the middle.
Yeah, see if you can estimate a good, I don't know, either stopping point or jumping off point.
If you bring the maps down to Nira, I will let one of you aid the other in making an intelligence check on the maps. However you want to do that. Okay. So, whichever one of you wants to make the intelligence roll, you can do it with advantage if you're helping each other.
Yeah, my intelligence is not the greatest.
All right, then I guess I will make the roll. All right, and you said with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I can assist. I've got a.
Well, you're in there talking with Andrew.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So that is a 9 plus 2, so 11. And that is a 16 plus 2, so 18.
All right. You realize that the map actually does have sort of a traced-on marking that appears to show the advancing of the flooding all around the lake. But also, you are able to discern some of the landmarks that you still see on the shore where you can, because there's actually parts of the lake. The lake's big enough that you can't see the other side in all directions, but you can in some directions, and you recognize you are already off of that dotted line course that seems to be its normal route.
Right, I think this is definitely spirit powered. We are not following this exact track. We're sort of moved off towards the center, so I think we're exactly where we need to be. Maybe not where we want to be, but
Right.
I think we passed the point of no return on this. So It knows we're coming.
Alright.
Were you with them, Alaric? Looking at the maps? Or were you still just hanging
I'm
out
on a
in your
boat.
lifeboat?
I'm on a boat. I'm reasserting my freedom.
All right. Just getting a little me time, right? It's like you spent a long time by yourself, and certainly you were not eager to continue being by yourself, so it's nice to have people around, but I imagine it's a little bit system shock going on. It's just going from being by yourself to some shared trauma with new people to suddenly just day after day after day, 24/7 with the same group of people. It's gotta feel
Can't get away from people, like go in the same direction. Also, every once in a while, taking one of the paddles and just kind of making sure that the little lifeboat can move itself a little bit independently. Just that little bit of reassurance that I'm not only facing someone else's plans.
Yeah, you can also make an intelligence check or perception. Perception will be okay too.
Perception?
Yeah.
22.
You realize that the big boat, the ferry, has no wake. But the lifeboat pulled along by it does.
Weird. Huh. Well, that makes me feel even more independent.
Right. No warning from the dwarf. Noted.
All right.
Well, you would have heard maybe the boat flying off the side and splashing, but that's about it.
So, as you guys are doing all that various investigation and chatting and everything, we'll say that a couple of hours pass, and you've been tracking your progress on the map, and it does seem as though you guys are heading more or less towards the center of the lake. It's an irregular shape. There's not an obvious direct center, but approximately. And after a certain point, you feel the breeze kind of calm. The boat slows, and it stops.
Well, here we are.
Where the hell are we?
I'll
I think we're in the middle. Who wants to go for a swim?
Incidentally, it is
for a
probably
sink.
about 4 or 5 in the afternoon now. And so you recall that you took the potion near midnight. So as far as your giant size.
Okay. Still got some hours to go. We're gonna do this, guys. I don't know, maybe we can talk some sense into it. We can try.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all we can do.
All right. So, you know what? I'll go first. I'm going to jump off the side and straight to the water. We have the water breathing, right? It was 24 hours. Okay. Yep. Doing it.
So, it's not explicitly part of the spell. But I will go ahead and for the convenience of, well, I don't know. See, I'm just thinking is that with his heavy armor, Chooch was weighted so that his natural buoyancy was overcome by the weight of the armor, and he would naturally sink. But for the rest of you, in order to descend, you would have to swim downward.
Okay. I'm still
you
pretty
can
heavy
do
too,
that.
so
Well, but your volume has increased. Your density is the same. As
okay.
always.
Well, swimming.
Yeah. So, all right, everyone. The boat kind of goes as the your 15-foot friend has jumped into the water. Are you following her?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna cut the rope that tethered the rowboat to the ferry.
Okay.
I was going to take a deep breath, realize I don't really need to. Hell. Fall into the water gracelessly.
All right. So, everybody in. Are you making an effort to stay together? How do you guys? It's pretty
Yeah,
dark
I don't think I have a
there.
choice.
I look for
I'm
Nirikina,
going straight down.
Yeah. I mean,
our
even
large whale.
yeah, even with dark vision, the water is a little murky, and so it's not super clear. It's you realize pretty quickly that it's hard to see each other more than 10, 15 feet away. And so you guys are going to have to make an effort to stay together if that's your intention.
I figure Nirikina is a good landmark.
Aim for near.
So glad this isn't permanent. Just the jokes, I think, would get old. We're okay for now.
We wouldn't have to keep joking if it was permanent.
So you guys are not like tied to each other or anything. So you're just all swimming downward, but trying to stay, where you can see each other. Trying to stay together, swimming downward and downward.
Just keeps.
Is the water
Downward.
fighting
I
us?
feel like now we should be tied together. I feel kind of stupid that we didn't tie. Shit.
Well, that could work against us too.
Yep, so you're swimming down. The water does not appear to be fighting you any more than water typically would trying to swim downward. It's a little
currents.
easier in the sense that you don't have to go up to breathe, so there's not that element of anxiety. Although certainly I would imagine there's a little bit of this is not usually how you spend your time. Swimming down, and you're going down and down and down, and it's starting to get darker as you're farther away from the surface. And down and down and down.
God.
Really hope we don't die.
We're so gonna die. We'll never float up.
Yeah, you guys are you're descending a lot, and there's no sign of bottom. Just water getting darker and cooler as you descend, and down and down and down.
It's a deep lake,
Hey, let me switch to a different. Here's a. I'm gonna try this as a new ambiance. This is the one called Astral Plane. It does not mean you are on the astral plane.
Well, literally.
But yes, you're swimming down and down and down and down and down, and it's getting cooler, and then ever so gradually, Nira sees it first, but you see a little bit of a glow. Is it maybe purplish? Something. Some kind of a slightly blobby shape
Oh no.
down there glowing.
This is the pilot light fish?
Right? Yeah. An angler or something?
As
Yeah.
you continue to watch it, it does look like it's moving a little bit, but not fast. And if anything, it looks like it is getting closer to you at a rate greater than would be explained by your own downward movement.
Yep.
I guess just keep going.
Yeah. Swimming down.
I don't know what else to do at this point.
Down and down.
Jesus.
And you see that whatever this glowing thing is, scale is hard down here because you don't have any point of reference. How far away is it? How big is it? You can't tell. You do, as you start moving to it and it's moving towards you, you start feeling a little bit of sort of a buffeting current. Not anything really pushing you away, but just a feeling like something big is moving through the water somewhere.
Is that okay?
And
I
then...
will-
Oh, no.
I was gonna say the only thing I can think to do is open my extra sight, my divine sense, sense of its presence of strong evil or
Well,
celestial fiend, undead.
none of those. As you are going down and down and down, all of a sudden, you find yourself bumping up against a sort of springy surface that you didn't see coming. And you kind of sort of bounce against it, but as you start to recoil, you realize that you're stuck to it. And gradually, you feel the material of this starting to swarm over your arms and around your back, and you are being all engulfed by something invisible.
That sounds like a melee attack, in which case.
In which case, a giant jellyfish has swum up to you and absorbed you into its jelly dome, and you realize that that glowing shape was some sort of an interior structure in an enormous, otherwise invisible bell.
So I would like, can I trigger my destructive wrath then?
Yeah. It's technically not, it hasn't damaged you though.
I was going to say, it hasn't technically attacked us. It just globbed us or something.
You
Well,
swam into it and it moved up to you, and now you are being engulfed by it.
Can we swim out?
Just pass through, yeah.
Make a strength check.
The only way out is through.
So while they're doing that, they're getting ready to do stuff, and I cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
Will that work on it? And that mean,
Well, you don't know in advance, but you can cast it and try.
dang, Chooch, calm down.
So when my strength is 25, that's an extra 7 that I add, right? Okay.
Yep.
So that would be a 15. No. 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a 16 as well.
All right. As you guys
got
are
11.
struggling against this, trying to pull yourselves out, you are hampered by the fact that there's nothing to push against. When you're trying to push into it, your hands kind of just sink further in. You're able to kind of wrest yourself free a little bit, but not to escape the stickiness, and it is continuing to envelop you. Amethyst casts Speak with Animals, and what do you say?
Can I change that to Animal Friendship? That's what I meant. I read the spells and I meant to cast Animal Friendship.
Animal Friendship? Okay, let me look at that spell just to know what that does.
Hug it hard.
A love spell. We're friends. And it lasts 24 hours, so I've got my fingers crossed.
Okay. So let's see. Lets you convince a beast that you mean it no harm. Choose a beast that you can see within range. You must be able to see and hear you. Okay. Yeah, okay. So the it makes a wisdom saving throw.
And if one of my companions harms it, the spell ends. Just saying. Just the intricacies of the spell kittens.
Never.
dagger halfway up.
Please, let's be friends, everyone.
It rolled a 1.
Besties!
So much.
I needed a new friend.
So, here's the thing, though. You can feel the spell take hold.
Right.
There is not any obvious way that this thing is able to indicate any sort of an intention to you, other than the fact that it does not stop engulfing you guys.
That's how it hugs.
And as you guys feel its sort of slimy enclosing you and drawing you down into sort of a jelly-like fluid thicker than the water that was around you, you suddenly feel in your insides, you feel that suddenly you're moving downward faster.
We're riding a jellyfish, folks.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to cast
Strain.
Thunderwave, but I think I'm going to hang on. to
And
that.
and I think that's where we're going to end for today.
We're riding in a jellyfish, guys!
Jellyfish elevator. A jellyvator.
Jellyvator. Jellyfishing!
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, this is awesome.
Jellyvator. Did someone say that? Jellyvator?
Yeah.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep. So, what's the nature of this enormous jellyfish? What awaits you at the bottom of the lake? And what's going on? What's going on with this fisher and this lake spirit? We'll find out next time on
So many levels.
All right. So, thank you everybody for listening and or watching, and we'll be back.